Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I Jah Rastafari. Hello my beautiful people, so glad to be back here once again to explain another celestial piece. But first, I must say one thing, and I hope this is in the preview of this post, right? My people, head over to YouTube to view this video and subscribe and ring the notification bell. You know what I'm saying? We are deep. There are many of us, right? And YouTube, I'm seeing things starting to happen over there. I will put the link to the video in the description under this post. Or you can hit the, I think it's a comment thing, or if you hit the title, it will bring, because Instagram changes every single time. So the link will be in the description. But anyway, head over to my store, jahbu.com, where you can view all my work and you can purchase all my work. Please be sure to select your size. A lot of people are scrambling to get, I think people are doing early Christmas shopping, so they're scrambling. So please head over there, select your size, right? If you want a custom frame, I have custom frames available. You can select your frame, and the custom frame does take a bit longer, so please order it early. Order early. Don't wait until closer to the end of the year, because that's when things are gonna get very crazy. So you can select your art, you can select your size and your finish, and you can do that all on my website. And apart from that, that's all the announcements I wanted to make. Don't want to take up too much time today, you know what I'm saying? Because we're going all our meds, you understand? Today's Friday, and I'm bubbling to get the weekend started. Anyway, so here is Wodaabe, right? Mother of worlds. And one of the things, and I'm just gonna hop right over to the screen right now. All right. So one of the things about this piece, right, is unlike the Wodaabe male that I showcased last week, right, last Friday. The women, on the other hand, are much more subtle, right? They're much more humbled than the men, right? Because once a year, right, as I explained last week, once a year, the Wodaabe, and it's after the rainy season, because you have to understand where a lot of Wodaabe live, not all Wodaabe, but where a lot of Wodaabe live, it's very dry. It's very dry. So rain is a huge blessing. I know a lot of people take rain for granted, but for some of these tribes, rain is a huge blessing. But anyway, after the rainy season, they do a it's like almost like a 7-day festival, right? And the men they adorn themselves with makeup and jewelry and they look fantastic. Please go look them up. And in the 7 days, this is actually the period where the women select the men, and to me it's so fascinating. So that's why anytime you see me illustrate a tribe and I'm doing the male and the female, I am super interested in learning more about that tribe, that particular tribe, right? For example, Himba, Garden of Worlds, and then the Himba, Destroyer of Worlds. It's because I was just so enamored by the Himba. But anyway, so here we have the female, right? And the reason why I say Mother of Worlds, it's simply it's the same reason the Wodaabe male had the portals. Through this festival, right? Through this festive time, the woman picks her husband, right? The woman picks her husband, right? The more, and it's a polygamous society, so the more women, right, pick this one man, is the more help he has with his family, the more chances he has to have children. And like I explained last week, there are two marriages. There's one that's arranged, and there's one that is like love, like how we view it here in the Western world. In the Western world, marriage is not. It's through love and connection. It's supposed to be, right? Because I know some people them do it because of business and other arrangements. But anyway, so another thing that I like about the women is that the women, they wear dark colors, and I thought this was an interesting contrast to the men who were adorned with bright, beautiful colors, right? Oranges and blues and all other kind of materials and beads, feathers. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And sometimes they have these hats, and other times they don't wear the hat. So, and because I'm still researching, so I'm learning just like how everyone else is learning, and I'm realizing that the Wodaabe, aka the Fulani, right? I feel like there might be different branches to the same tribe. But I'm still looking into it, and like I said, I'm learning through my art the same way you are. So we're learning together. So if you can, DM me or email me additional information, I would love that. But anyway, so one aspect of the Wodaabe female that I cannot get over, right? And I found this on YouTube, so I don't know how accurate this is, right? So don't take this with a grain of salt, because I'm still looking into it, right? Because I constantly watch things and read things about the African tribes that I'm making artwork about, right? So one of the things that shocked me about the Wodaabe woman, right, is the fact that she wears black, right? And you might say, well, why? You wear black, Jabu. You always got on a black shirt, right? Look, all the people wear black. Black are nothing to them, right? Right, that's true. But remember, black is the absorption of color, right? White is supposed to be the absence of color, but we all know that that's not true. That's not true, because white is also like black. It's ironic. So black, it absorbs color, like black hole, sucks everything in, right? And the white, like you seen a prism where you shine a beam of light and it comes out as all these different colors, right? So that's how black and white is. But the women wear black. I'm like, why do they wear black? Because the men remind me more of a prism, more of white, but the woman reminds me of dark and black. Well, apparently Wodaabe women are not allowed to talk to their firstborn, right, until they're adult. Now I said, take that with a grain of salt. I think I've watched it in 2 YouTube videos so far, and I'm still looking into finding more information about it. But imagine carrying a child for 9 months, giving birth to this child, and then you can't communicate, or you're not supposed to communicate with that child until that child is a adult. And I understand the ages of adult vary from tribe to tribe. Some tribes see 15 as an adult. Some tribes see 18. That's a 3-year difference. So it's not like 2 decades difference. It's not, what I mean. Some see 16 as mature. Some see 19. Right? I don't think I've ever seen anything past that older than 19. But anyway, so let's look more at this painting. So she's adorned in black, right? But I didn't want to go with a straight up dark black, right? I don't like to use solid black in my work, right? So I'll use like a variant of black, right? The black is not, you see, it's kind of like almost like a gray, right? Almost like a gray. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want to draw too much attention to one particular part of my composition. That is so important, right? But in certain cases, you want to get as dark and as close to pitch black as possible, because it goes with the said composition, right? So here you can see there is a lot of white. There's a lot of white coming through here, right? And down here it's a lot of dark, right? But there's a reason. Oh my gosh, I need to be on history tab, yeah. But there's a reason for that. The reason for that is simply to make the composition more dramatic. That is the reason why it's there. Because think about it. If all of this was bright, right? If everything outside of her, right, was white or a lighter color, right? Or a more saturated look, right? I feel like it will be too bland, right? Like here you have this nice, interesting light dynamic coming in. The light is reflecting off of this planet here, and it's also reflecting off of the surrounding planets, right? So, okay, so, but down here, right, and it's creating what they call in video games bloom, right? So sometimes I like to use bloom, but I'm very subtle most of the time with my blooms, right? However, but down here, as you can see, the contrast is way higher than it is here. You see, one trick that I can tell you guys when you're doing art, right, or painting or anything, right, and I'm gonna say this before I wrap up. Three things you should use. Use your composition, right, your color, and last but not least, remember this one trick, one rule. Things that are closer to us, to our eyes, things that are closer to us in reality, right, appear at higher contrast levels, right? Higher contrast levels than things at a distance, right? So everything up here, so she is in the mid ground, right? And this is more so the foreground, right? And these are foreground, right? I know I'm making a mess. These are foreground, right? So all of this is foreground, right? But check this. Once you get to here, especially up in here, like this area right here, like that area, as soon as you get to this area right here, things start to change. What starts to happen? Things are receded or they're pushed way back into the background. And if you can remember that one strategy when you're creating your art, boom, you got it. You got it. You got it, right? And of course, it takes years and years of practice. And one last thing. For me, the hardest thing to draw or paint, right? It used to be women. Women used to be very hard for me to paint. It took me like 10 years to actually start to get comfortable enough to the point where now I can actually paint a beautiful woman or what I think a beautiful woman should look like, right? My artistic muse of what a woman, I can get it. Guys, I've always been, that's easy because, you just grow up, figure drawing classes and stuff. You draw, well, I drew more guys. I just ended up drawing more guys than girls. So when it came to making a woman beautiful, oh my gosh, man. But anyway, that's all I got for this week. Please head over to YouTube, subscribe. And if you're watching this on YouTube, big shout out to you. Much love, one love, Natty. Oh. I wanna stay some, man. I wanna stay some. I ain't try to find a nice little tune where I can go on bungs. Alright. No. What is? Might just stick to like lo-fi and jazz. Watch I hear all this. Watch it. National and no, we not in that. Black is beautiful. Always. I and I, sir. Yeah. Hey. No. No, we don't have the ramping. We don't have the ramping thing. Next thing you know, people start spread all rumor. No, we're not in them something there. We're not in it. So I gotta just stick to the pure music. I music what I deal with. We not deal with nothing too crazy. Cause people think y'all a frazzle out there. We not a frazzle no way. A Rastafari live it. I say, I saw it, we like we think knives and just chill, you understand? I saw it for stay, but sometimes we get kinda hype still. I'm burning too much fire. I joke. But no, seriously, I'm go there for probably the next half hour. See there? Beer music, Anyway, all right.